with Mel, I don't know if I was just missing something, but it felt like her magic kind of came out of nowhere. Like I didn't see how it fit into her character arc and out of her, wounds and her backstory. She had all that. She was a really great character. Like what was the need that this magic fulfilled? In other words, you know what I mean? Like that's how like a transformation plays into a character's arc. Yeah, I wrote like how does it work into a character wounds, objectives. So I'm curious if I watch it again, if I will see that there is something there, but it was too subtle for me to be able to pick up on it as a viewer. The phrase "this isn't earned" kept running through my mind, like in that final act, with a lot of the stuff.
I agree. I'll say I'll agree with you that Mel also bothers me. I just saw. We'll get to you in just a moment. Zero the Blade. I see that, but yeah, she was with the $10 super chat. But yeah, she was siloed off, which meant that I really didn't care about her art for a while. Okay, but on the greater part, when we are introduced to Mel in season 1, she is the politician. She's talking about investments.
That's what I was about to get to. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I love Mel.
That's what her character is focused on.
She changed the archetypes.
Yeah, she did. Correct. Exactly. So like I thought that if you're going to have her beat her mother, if that's we can talk about her mother's arc, whatever. But if that's where you're going, that she's going to have to overcome her mother. Her mother is the warrior archetype. She was supposed to be the politician, and I would have said that she needed to politically outmaneuver her mother, whatever, and that's how she would win and play to her strengths. The idea that all of a sudden she's got magic powers and needs to defeat her mother in hand-to-hand combat with flashing magic, that's
hero's journey stuff, man.
Yeah, it actually made her less cool because it was like what made her so unique and interesting as a character was the fact that she wasn't using those types of things. She wasn't a combat character.
Yeah, she was genuinely cunning. And what would have been cool is if you had, and we'll get into the tactical situation of that final battle, because that's another hang up I've been having, not with just this show. It's becoming a real problem. People are losing their ability to write a tactical battle sequence. But what would have been cool is if she at least was an advisory level where she's like, look, I know the strategies of Noxus. I understand how she's going to fight. I know the assets she's going to employ. I understand things about how my mom fights. And advising, let's say, a military tactician who's like, okay, then what we should probably do is this and this, that, and that. And then, it's her versus her mother intellectually, strategically. That would have been so much more satisfying, especially if her mother makes a single mistake in that battle and Mel's right there. She called, I read your book.
That would have been cool. That would have been earned. That would have been consistent with what was set up for her.
And I was like, because when I was watching Mel cast spells and stuff, I was like, everybody in the show doesn't need to end up being a badass warrior. I mean, there are other things you can do.
Because they're video game characters, so they felt
because they're video game.
I know, but so my first thought was not everybody has to end up like that, and I was like, oh, this is. I mean, instantly the follow-on thought is, oh, I bet they're all like this in the video game, and so they had to get to the video game part. So
because I'm a non-video game guy. I'm a non-League of Legends guy. If I ended up buying League of Legends, because I love this show so much, and I hop down to the video game and there's Mel and she's a mage, I don't think I would care. I wouldn't question it that much. I'd still be cool playing her as a mage, even though in the show she's not. You don't have to make direct translations. That's just my opinion, though. Video game people might feel very differently.
Well, Jacob says Mel isn't the league champion.
Yeah, now that's really interesting. I thought I heard that, and so that makes it even worse because it's like
not a video game character.
She wasn't originally a video game character. So like, why did they feel the need? I don't know if they were planning to introduce her or something. I wonder if there was like some sort of executive that was like, you must make her a video game character so we can.
She is just by being in the show. She has brand recognition for any of us, like me, noob, 512. Coming in, if I see Mel, I'll still play her. I don't care. I mean, it's Mel. She's in the show. So you don't have to. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Yeah, and it's like storytelling needs to come first in a context like this, and so
yeah. Well, and I think Arcane was a perhaps the success story of creating something new and compelling purely for storytelling reasons. Even if it wasn't perfectly matched to the lore of the video game. And I don't know if that's true or not. People who know the lore might correct me immediately, but it seemed like Arcane, the season 1 show, was its own thing, that was loosely based on this video game. That's what it seemed like to me.
Yeah, they've retroactively said that Arcane is now canon, but that has I think created some issues. I think some of the fans are like, "What?" But that's not.
Well, that's what those video
don't
game
worry
guys.
about that other canon that used to exist. No, this is canon now. I think that's what I've heard the tone is. People are like, "Okay."
Interesting. I ran across that on accident in a Reddit thread. Something what you just said sounds familiar.
Yeah. I think I've probably heard it on Facebook. I'm always
so we're with you on Mel.